Yeah.
I knew you would.
Hey, do y'all see the live on the page at all, CJ? I don't see the live nowhere. Facebook tripping.
Yeah, I'm checking right now. Yeah, I don't see it nowhere on Facebook.
I just think that, like, for people walking around calling Ryan Poles King Poles, I think that the idea of they have this great culture that has been week after week, we have seen it be cracked away easily. Like, the idea that there is someone who might have the foresight to protect the quarterback from the organization is wild. And part of the reason that I think that, Dan and Marshall, is because they wanted the quarterback to fix the problems with the organization.
Yeah, they thought he was the savior.
That's not how
they,
that works.
They thought they were going to drop him in and everything was going to be fixed.
Why did they think that? I don't understand what you saw that would lead you to believe one man can fix everything.
It's the same thing that a lot of people were saying about Caleb, like the idea of, well, generational quarterbacks, and then we have to do everything we can to help this quarterback, and yet some of the simplest stuff that they could be doing, they are unwilling to do. How much more evidence do you need that it ain't Shane Waldron?
Well, hey,
how much more?
Well, and here's the
I need no more. By the way,
No.
What I'll say to that is we've now seen matchups with him and other rookie quarterbacks, and not once has he looked like the best rookie quarterback on the field. And to me, that's an indictment on the coaching staff. Full stop.
You guys remember when they clearly made the decision last year to drop Justin Fields into the deep end of the pool in the first 3 weeks of the season and say, all offseason we've been planning for the next level and a pro-style offense, and they forced it on him, and he didn't handle it well. It was clear that he didn't handle it well.
Maybe because he was being taught by a clown.
Well, maybe, but like as always, we had all the football conversations where you try to decode it. And I'm not offering an answer to that, but I am pointing as high as you are pointing with it, Lawrence, and because what I said last year was that Poles was fully on board with what Getsy was doing in terms of Getsy and Eberflus saying, let's give Justin the full pro-style offense and see if he can handle it. And if he can, great. And if not, then we'll do the soft tank and work our way towards this. Here we are now with Waldron. They have forced Caleb into a full-on pro-style thing where they're giving him full power to change everything at the line of scrimmage. And like Olin said, he's changing plays too much. Caleb is overwhelmed. So I think there is a Poles theory on what quarterbacks should be allowed to do.
Well, he's wrong.
That he is wrong about, and a lot of the rest of the league is wrong too, as we know. It's a very difficult thing, and I don't think Poles is great at thinking about how to set up a quarterback for success.
Yeah, some of that autonomy has to be earned.
Right.
And they seem to not want to do that, and I get that. Like, you have number one pick in the draft. A lot of people are praising that pick. You kind of turn the keys over to him. But the problem is like, you didn't give him anyone that he was going to be able to actually work with. And I will go back to this, and I'm sure that there will be people that will shout me down on it. But if you listen back to what Cliff Kingsbury's reaction was when people asked him about his interviews here, it makes you go, wait, did they not hire this guy because he's not part of their clique?
100%.
Did they not hire this guy because the head coach was terrified that someone who would have Caleb's ear and someone who has a head coaching background would snake his job from him?
Lawrence, that part of it is that is so. Those two reasons are it, man. Those two reasons are it, because the clique has been damaging things and continues to, because Trace Armstrong was a Getsy guy and a Waldron guy, in addition to everything else. But also, your leader is not a leader, and that is just so incredibly obvious. Every time Eberflus talks, it's more and more embarrassing, and has really devolved into complete uselessness.
What did they promise Trace Armstrong? That's really what I want to know. What did they promise the shadow president of this team for the three clients we know he has in Poles, Eberflus, Waldron?
Yeah, I'm adding Getsy.
Don't forget about
because
Getsy, yeah.
I think what happens is that Poles gets the job. And is like, oh, yeah, man, I got you. And so that's a big part of it, is that he's a kingmaker for Poles. And then also, within the building, we know how weak this ownership is, man. They don't want badasses. They haven't had a real badass since freaking Ditka. It's embarrassing to say.
Well, that's what we talked about, too, when we read what Mike Sando had in The Athletic today. where Mike Sando is, and this is what's happening now, is the national people are starting to come around, and they're starting to talk to sources, and they're starting to talk to league level people, and they're starting to ask questions. And he quotes an anonymous team executive who says the Bears don't want and will not command a strong-willed, big-name head coach because with Kevin Warren and Ryan Poles already around, there's just not enough oxygen in the room.
I mean, and I think that I hadn't read that, but man, I think that's spot on, and that is for sure. I can tell you what a lot of people around the league have known and are saying is that they don't want a strong leader because it freaks them out. Grow a pair.
No, that's ridiculous, and you need that to win. That's why they can't turn the corner. That's direct evidence. Who rejects good leadership, strong leadership? Someone who's been there, done that, knows how to get the job done. I don't understand that way of thinking.
I think that they have believed that they have the strong leader on the football side.
And we about to get to it right now, y'all. Yo, what's up, everybody? This is G Walker, one half of the CNG podcast.
And I'm CJ, the other half of the CNG podcast.
Turn your mic on, G.
Appreciate it. What's going on, everybody? It's G Walker, the CNG podcast, and I got my guys, Alan, and I got my boy, my partner, CJ. How you feeling, bro?
I'm feeling pretty good, man. I want to salute Craig. Let's salute Craig, man. Craig is in the comments talking with us, and let's salute him real quick.
Salute to Craig, man. We appreciate you, bro. You've been rocking with us for a very long time, my guy. A very long time, man, since like the beginning. So we appreciate you. And man, bring the comments, man. So
Craig.
Alan, it's been a lot of noise, Alan. It's been a lot of noise, man, lately about Ryan Poles is upset. He's upset with that Kevin Warren was hired. Ryan Poles is upset. Ryan Poles is upset, man. Ryan Poles is upset, like Ryan Poles. And I was a Ryan Poles guy. You know, he did a lot of things right, man, but it's a lot of things he did not do right at the same time on the same coin. And we're going to get into a lot of the things that, you know, he didn't do right. So the fact that he's mad that he has a boss right now, you know, I was talking to the guys offline and I was like, you know what, man, do y'all want to do a show? Because this is worthy of a show. So I talked to my guys. I said, let's do a show. So we're going to get everybody's thoughts on how they feel about Ryan Poles being frustrated, and who do they trust more? Is it Kevin Warren or Ryan Poles? Who do you guys trust in the chat? Who do y'all even trust even more, man? Because I don't know, Alan, man. I've been waiting to hear your thoughts all day, big dog, about how Ryan Poles is he's frustrated and everything else like that. He got a boss. Like, bro, in the real world, everybody got a boss. Like, why would you so mad about getting Kevin Warren as your boss? You trying, you know, you got to communicate with McCaskey. Like, Alan, go ahead and speak to the people, bro.
Well, I'm going to say this about Kevin Warren. We talked about this when they kind of started hitting the surface. What was that, about week 3 when we talked about, like, well, week 4 or 5, Kevin Warren need to step up and take away that de facto organization, that shadow football footment with Trace Armstrong. Because what what those guys were just talking about, they had the power, they had the de facto power because the agent had the three top guys in the organization, football wise, on his agent. So, with that being said, Kevin Warren had to make the adjustment and had to usurp the power back to the Bears organization. That's why I don't trust Ryan. Ryan Poe chose his agency over the betterment of the franchise. Kevin Warren represents the franchise, whether he does a good interview or not, all that dumb shit people say. I don't care about an interview. I care about action. Kevin Warren tells me and makes me feel like a man of action. He was over the Big Ten. He was over the Minnesota when they got their stadium. He was over. He worked with I think the Giants back in the day. Kevin Warren is decorated. He has every right to be your boss, Ryan. And you ain't done nothing but
Right.
magoo your way. You ain't did nothing but magoo your way into getting Caleb Williams. You did a good trade. You got him. But you are not above the fray and think you don't need a boss. Kevin Warren had to do that. And we've been calling for Kevin Warren to step up and make a move to protect himself from you. Protect yourself from yourself. That's what Kevin Warren had to do. Because you're not strong enough to separate yourself from your agent. So yes, we're gonna take that power away. And yes, Ryan, you go find a coach and bring it back to me so I can approve or disapprove. You made this situation, so now I'm gonna fix it. So good for Kevin Warren.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, what makes you think, Ryan Poles? The only thing you've done, you've got lucky with Caleb Williams. You needed help with Carolina Panthers to do that. You needed help from Lovie Smith to do that. You know what I mean? You did some good things here, but you also did some things that we're going to talk about in a second. We got Ryan Poles' top 5 mistakes in here. Oh, yeah, it's going down today. It's going down. But from a person who hasn't done everything right in his tenure here so far, especially with building the offensive line and building the defensive line, CJ, why is he so upset that he got a boss? Why is he so upset that he has a boss? Like, bro, if that's the case, and I'm gonna pass it to you, CJ. If that's the case, why would you not want somebody to double check your decisions? Because look what you've done already as far as missteps. So you just want to keep doing things wrong so you can keep your agency and your guys in check, your guys a job. So CJ, how do you feel, man?
Man, it's like Alan said, man. When you knew this was gonna happen when Pose's power started getting stripped. You know, I think that's what Kevin Warner did. He came in, he made some decisions. He got rid of They got rid of Eberflus. You know, that was much needed. But Kevin Warner is you know, he talks like he knows what he's doing. Now I know we was waiting patiently for a long time for him to step up and make some moves regarding this Bears football team, and you're starting to see him starting to you know, step his foot down. I don't know why Poles don't want him as an boss. You know, I think Poles wanted to make all the moves, and he wanted to have his own stamp and his own approval on it.
Yeah.
That's not how business works. You got to have a boss. Everybody got to do their job, man. And Poles need to be focused on his job. He needs to be focused on his job. So, man, I just
I
think that
agree.
Poles want all the power. He want all the power, and the fact that he don't have it all, it makes him frustrated.
Yeah. Yeah, man, because I just think that it's coming down to, you know, he wants the glory. Like, I drafted Caleb Williams. I brought in DJ Moore. You know what I mean? I brought in Montez Sweat. But sometimes, bro, when you build an empire, sometimes the king or the emperor he don't get to see the rest of what he built. And that's why I think he's getting frustrated, because he can see where he built the team and took the team, but you're not going to be able to finish the thought process out because what you didn't do. Like Caleb Williams is on track, and some of it's his fault, but a lot of it's not. A lot of it's not. For over 60 sacks in a season, you've had 3+ years to fix this offensive line. You had 3+ years to fix this offensive line. You didn't do anything with it. So what makes you think you're going to be worth getting an extension when the guy that you brought in here is getting destroyed every Sunday because his offensive line? Come on, Ryan. Like, you got to have some accountability in this situation. You have to grow up a little bit, man, because it doesn't make sense that you think that you could just get free reign from an organization and an ownership who don't even know football. So are you one of the people that's taking advantage of the McCaskies as well? See, this is what we got to understand, people. It's all about your job security, man. So Ryan Poles is getting frustrated because his job security is not solid no more. It's not solid no more. He might do a good job on his last draft, because I think this will be his last draft, and he won't see Caleb be the Caleb that he drafted him to be, bro. And that's a tough pill to swallow. You feel me, Alan?
Yeah, I agree. And another thing, too, to add to that, G, they're not going to give him the extension. See, Ryan Poles is playing the long game. He's trying to circumvent Kevin Warren and getting the ear of the McCaskies. He wants to hear that direct line of communication. He can get that extension, and if he gets the extension, he will then take the power back for him. As long as Ryan doesn't have an extension, Warren controls the access to the money. So he wants to say, George, check this out. I want that 3-year deal, man, because look, if we got to get a coach, I got to line with the coach. But Warren is like, nah, George, we ain't giving him nothing. He going to finish his year out, lame duck GM until he fix this, then we'll give him extension. That's all that is you making sure we control. That's what a president does. He's over quality control. So you gotta make sure that this guy is doing what he's supposed to do. So he's got to make sure that this happens this way so he gets money and back take control, and then have Trey Armstrong be back to the same position that he was in and bring in some more guys as coach. Ryan's problem was the management. He picked management poorly. Not the players, but the management who managed the players. That's what we're questioning. You're going to blow a couple of players. You're going to throw us off with a couple of, but management can't mess with it. Management is so important to get right. You got more time and extra money to get good quality staff to manage.
And I agree with everything that you just said. So, but Alan, man, you might have to just go off camera because I can't barely hear you. So just put your avatar on, man, so everybody can hear you clearly. Just turn off your camera so everybody can hear you. We got a couple of comments right here. We saying, "What's up to the Bears Den podcast?" And that guy over there, Andy in Chicago, Clarence and Todd. He says, "Warren, Poles missed on coaching staff. Poles missed on offensive line, and he missed on defensive line. That's 3 big strikes." CJ, what do you feel about that? Because that's exactly what happened. Am I right or wrong? Good job, Andy. The coaching staff, the O-line, and the D-line, CJ.
Yeah, that's correct. That is absolutely correct. Those are the 3 big things that he missed on. Now, when you have a number 1 overall pick, those are the 3 things that you need to be that need to be corrected fast and hurry. And the fact that it wasn't, that's why Caleb is in the predicament that he's in right now.
Yeah, man, because you and to the Bears Den podcast point, we're losing in the trenches. We can't block. We can't run. We can't stop the run. we can't do anything for any pressure to stop pressure or get pressure. And he's been the GM for years now. So we're still stuck where we were when we got the #1 overall pick twice in 2 years. We haven't moved the needle at all as far as the roster. We got 2 more wins than the Carolina Panthers, man. And this is what we have, and you're expecting for people to not, for you to be the one frustrated because you don't have a job, your job security is not right? Like, come on, bro. And this right here, Alan, it says Warren refused to talk to Harbaugh. Shouldn't you hire people that beat your ass all the time, Alan? What do you think about that? Because I know it was going around like this might not even been true, but what's your thoughts on this, Alan?
Well, I would say Warren didn't really have a problem with more so about Harbaugh as more as situation. You got to remember, Jim Harbaugh got suspended last year. You remember he got suspended from Michigan. So
yeah, Harbaugh, yeah.
Kevin Warren was the Big Ten commissioner at the time. So it was some rumblings that they might have had a little bit of a real effect. So it was word through the channels that Harbaugh didn't want to work with Warren. So Warren, the reports are saying that Warren didn't want to work with Harbaugh. I think it was the other way around. I think Harbaugh didn't want to work with him. So I'm gonna take that with a grain of salt. I don't think Harbaugh wanted that job. I think Harbaugh wanted to go to the West Coast because I don't think Chicago was his first job. I don't think so. I could be wrong, but I don't think
We got the real gangster here saying facts. He didn't draft one good lineman. He picked a punter, and the punter works until the punter don't. You know what I mean? Like everything is hindsight 2020. He need to get the coach right, and Darnell Wright is very up and down. He picked the top 10 offensive lineman on the right side. He grades well, but like you're saying, Craig, he be up and down, man. He really hasn't got any good pass rushes or good cornerbacks or hit on special teams. Yeah, he hasn't written. No, he hasn't. Look, Dominique Robinson, some shit like that. Do not interview Harbaugh was criminal, man. A lot of people feel that way. So before we go to the next slide or the next presentation, CJ, who do you trust more, Kevin Warren or Ryan Poles?
Right now, I would have to say Kevin Warren because Poles has got too many things left on the table that hasn't been corrected.
Alan, who do you trust more, Kevin Warren or Ryan Poles?
Kevin Warren.
Kevin Warren. I'm gonna say this.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go with Ryan Poles, man. I'm gonna say I trust Ryan Poles a little bit more than Kevin Warren. One, because Ryan Poles has been the GM for 3 years. I think he can correct his mistakes. He's done a lot of things well. Got Caleb Williams. He ended up clearing the decks for contracts, getting rid of Khalil Mack contract, Robert Quinn. He signed Cole Kmet. He signed Jalen Johnson. He signed guys back. He did a lot of things that I think that, that should be accounted for. And it's still rumors that he didn't really want Eberflus, but he kept Eberflus. Then there's reports that he wanted to fire Eberflus, but George McCaskey didn't want to fire him. And it took them 3 hours to convince George McCaskey that they need to fire Matt Eberflus. So with all that information, I'm a ride with Poles, man, this last time because it's too much confusion at the top to why he might have done a good or bad job. The biggest things that we can say he did wrong, and we're going to go into the next one. The next presentation is these things right here. Hold on, y'all. We got Ryan Poles' top 5 mistakes, man. And I think these are his top 5 mistakes. If anybody's in here right now, you can agree with him or, what's your own 5 mistakes that he made. And we got Craig with a comment. He said, I don't trust either much, but I think it's Warren only cares about getting a new stadium. Remember, Warren was the one who let Flus go when Poles wanted him fired. that situation was crazy, bro. Like the fact that two men, prominent men in your organization, wanted to fire a coach last season. They were saying Ryan wanted to fire Eberflus last season, but they wouldn't let him. But he wouldn't let him. Then it took him 3 hours to convince you to fire him. So, and Warren let him go. Did Warren let him go, Allen? Like, was it Warren or just McCaskey just gave in? Was it 2 against 1?
McCaskey gave in. He gave in.
There you go. So we got Ryan Poles' top 5 mistakes. Number 1, keep him at Eberflus, not building the O-line in 3 years, giving up a second round for Chase Claypool, signing Nate Davis, and picking Velus Jones Jr. CJ, we could talk about any of these you want to talk about first. Which one is the most egregious mistake that Matt Eberflus has done right here? Anybody in the chat?
I'm gonna say the O-line. When you have a number 1 overall pick, your line has to be intact. Your offensive line has to be intact. You can't go about saying this the best situation for the quarterback to be in. The offensive line looks like ass. It's like, you gotta have an offensive line to protect your rookie quarterback. That's the number one. That's the number one thing that should have been taken care of. But I don't understand why he didn't take care of that.
Man, it's all right here, man. These are some of his bigger mistakes, man. And him not being in the offensive line after 3 years, and for him being an ex-offensive lineman, and Ian Cunningham for being an ex-O lineman, and having the picks and you don't get it right for 3 years straight. This is a reason why his job security is in jeopardy, because he didn't build the O-line. So, Allen, man, speak on one of these mistakes right here, man.
Well, the first one I'm going to speak on is the Chase Claypool. I like Chase Claypool when we did that deal. I know everybody want to do revisionist history, but I love that deal because I was a Chase Claypool fan from Notre Dame. So when they got him, I was really psyched. I was like, that is a big boy move. He played the X. I mean, because, Luke Gessie liked big receivers. So I was for the move. The only problem with Claypool, you didn't have a strong enough locker room for Claypool. The Bears locker room, as we can see, was not strong enough for guys like that. Like, when your coach if he can't keep control, you're going to run a zoo. And so, Eberflus ran a zoo. So, whatever the players wanted to do, they did. So, I'm going to look at that as a poor management more so than a bad pick.
You know what? And for me personally, man, I'm gonna say the worst thing he did was we see the comments too. I'm gonna say all this stuff is not worse. It's all fucking terrible. This is all terrible, man. Like, you kept Matt Eberflus because you chose the agency over the Chicago Bears, which you ultimately chose the agency over Caleb Williams, knowing you were going to get the number 1 overall pick. Knowing you needed to get an offensive line, knowing that this guy was a defensive head coach, and you extended him 1 more year, which in turn restarts Caleb Williams' growth and his trajectory as far as his growth with another coach. That's insanity. That's insane. All this shit could have been avoided if you just would have did the right thing the first time. You know what I'm saying? The first time he should have just gotten rid of Matt Eberflus. Period. So then giving up a second round pick for Chase Claypool, I actually think that was a good deal. I think it was a nice try. But when you start to see things stack up against a GM like this, it don't matter how it should have went out. It don't matter, man. It was all bad. It was all bad. Then you signed Nate Davis. Who the hell convinced you to sign Nate Davis?
Matt Eberflus.
Who the hell was in this? Why the hell would you sign this dude, man? This is what I was saying, and me and CJ was saying last year when it comes to getting these picks. Who's in charge in the room? Who's in charge? Because if I'm the GM and my assistant GM with me, we're in charge. You're the coach, but we're in charge. So, Alan, can you speak on this signing of Nate Davis, man? Because, again, this is one of the situations that set us back, man.
Well, Matt Eberflus loved Nate Davis because they were in the same division. Nate Davis used to bully his defensive lineman in Indianapolis. So he was enamored with his physicality. Nate Davis was a physical guard. He just didn't practice Monday through Thursday. But game day, he's ready to go. But they didn't get the memo. It was like Eberflus was like, no, I want Nate Davis because he did a good job against my guys. And and he had to scheme around Nate Davis because he was so much of a great run block. But maybe it's your defense that gives up the run instead it was a great guard. So maybe it might have been schemable to play. So that was an Eberflus push with Davis.
Shit don't make no sense, and we still got the Bears Den podcast in here online. We have set the record for most sacks in a year and still have 4 games left. Bro, it's crazy, man. I think the more that I don't understand, I don't know what type of person Kevin Warren is as far as patience. But all I've been reading about since he's got here, he's a very patient man and all this. I don't know, man. Like, I think the more and more Caleb gets sacked, I don't even know if if Ryan Poles is going to be here to get this draft, man. I don't know if he's going to be here, man, because I'm getting nervous the more and more he gets sacked. How much do we trust Ryan Poles to build the offensive line? I ain't sure, man. Like, I don't know. Like, there's no assurances after 3 years that Ryan Poles is going to fix the offensive line. And depending on how he feels going into the offseason, he could possibly try to sabotage everything with this draft. CJ, do you think that he could do some shit like that, man?
I think he could.
When you're ready.
I think he could, but I don't think he should. Because your reputation is everything. You don't want to be known as a GM that just fuck up a whole franchise. You don't want to be known for that. Even though people see that Caleb Williams does not have an offensive line that can block or anything. So people kind of already known you as for that already. But he's definitely capable of sabotaging this whole thing.
Yeah, man, he might be on some bullshit next draft, man. Because he knows if he drafts everything, go ahead, Adam, but he knows if he drafts everything right, he still might not get an extension, man, because guess what? Kevin Warren didn't hire him, but go ahead, Alan.
Yeah, I'm going to say this, y'all. It was some rumors that he wanted to, we're talking about some of the rumors, but he's not. Ryan Poles knows how general management goes. Ask me how many times, y'all, in y'all lifetime, how many people have been a GM twice? That it don't matter what color you are or what age you are. That general manager job is sacred in the NFL. You only got one shot. So if Ryan Poles wants to keep his job, which I believe in my heart he does, he need to go ahead and fix this team. I don't want to think that he's going to do that. He will kill his career, and he'll be on a podcast next year with us. Ain't no way he's going to do that, G. Ain't no way he's going to do
He going to be on the CNG podcast talking about
the draft. Yeah, he going to be on here with us.
So Ryan, what you think? So Ryan, what are we doing with this top 10 pick right here? That'd be some funny shit, bro. That's funny as hell. We got Craig saying his ass better make a couple of signings in free agency on the offensive line and defensive line. Yeah, man, we got $80 million, man. So I'm nervous as hell. But Alan or CJ, but wouldn't you think that he would embrace Kevin Warren? Because it shouldn't be personal. It's just business. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
See?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it really shouldn't be personal. But Ryan Poles got to understand he still got business to handle. Yes, you got all the salary cap money for the Bears. The Bears have the ninth pick in this year's draft. The ninth pick. You have to get an offensive lineman with that ninth pick. You have to.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I
man.
hope Brian Poe get it done, man. I'm nervous, man. I'm nervous, G Walker. I am nervous that he's not gonna do it.
Man, I'm super nervous, bro. It's just the fact that we ain't got nothing to go off of because you've been a bargain shopper, that damn Benny Shoe Barn. You know what I'm saying? Shoe carnival shopping ass dudes since you got the job for offensive lineman. So what the hell do we expect for you to do, bro? It's like if he really want to keep his job, he's already got in mind what he's supposed to do, Allen. You know what I mean? But you know, and he kept Jake Bayless Jones. He kept Bayless Jones and picked him, man. Like this was a terrible ass pick, bro. Like this shit was dumb, Allen, man. What you think about the Bayless Jones mistake too?
I think Bayless Jones was miscast. I think Bayless Jones should have been he should have been coached right, coached better. Bayless Jones should have been worked in like a wide receiver / running back a little bit more. He had flashes, y'all, a little bit. I seen what Ryan seen in him, but the offensive coaching staff didn't have no creativity. No, not Waldron or Gates. But what I'm mad at with Poles with Bayless, somebody offered you a 5th or 6th round pick for Bayless and you didn't trade him. That you should have got, instead of cutting them, you should have got something for him. At least salvage some of that. That you need to take away your feelings in your draft picks, Ryan. You can't be married to your picks, man. Great GMs are not married to their picks.
Man, you ain't lying. Craig says, get us the best left tackle available because I'm tired of Braxton Jones. I think my 9-year-old nephew could pull rush that snack pack, put in pop pack.
Oh, definitely, Craig.
Hey, mashed potatoes, Craig. Mashed potatoes, bro. Mashed potatoes. Soft as hell, man. So, CJ, anything else on this mistake list you want to bring? Because some people even think that now he's not on the list. That even getting Torrey Hunter was a mistake. Getting a punter in the 4th round was a mistake. So do y'all feel like getting this punter was a mistake now?
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking G Walker, you could have got him in the 5th round, or maybe the 6th round. I still think he would have been available in the 5th or 6th round. Now I could be wrong, but I'm just thinking he may have still been available during those rounds. I just think when you got nothing on the offensive line, you gotta make those draft picks. You gotta make them. And the fact that he didn't make them, I don't know, man.
It was too early to be cute, man. So Allen, was getting the punter right now, you feel like he was a mistake? I don't know, man. How do you feel?
I'm gonna say yeah, it was.
You struggle with that one.
Yeah, it was, man. It was just we all unanimous on that one.
Right. Yeah. I think so. Hold on, we got Craig said I don't think that's a mistake at all. He's a game changer. Now maybe the 4th was a stretch, but talent like that doesn't come around too much. I mean, it made sense because of the vision that the Bears were supposed to be this year as far as a playoff team. You know, you're making the field, making the teams work all day long on a long field. You got a great punter, punting 60 yards, 59 yards, putting the ball on the 7 and the 5. But, you know, revisionist history, man, hindsight is 2020. So I'm gonna say no. I don't think it was a mistake. I don't know. I don't think it was a mistake. I don't know. That's value in a good punter, man. So things can change next year, man. It could change in this season. We might beat Green Bay or something with a crazy punt, and he threw an interception to pick. Says you never know. All right, we about to get to the last thing right here, man. Man, should Ryan Poles resign, man? I can understand why he gonna quit. I understand why. Because the quarterback you drafted, who looks like a potential MVP, you're not gonna be able to celebrate with him when he started to hit his stride. When Caleb Williams started to get in his prime, Ryan Poles probably will not be around when the new stadium is finished. So if I'm him on a lot of levels, to save face, you don't want to work with, he doesn't want to acknowledge Kevin Warren as his boss as well. So with all of that being said, he should resign, man. If everything I'm saying is coming true, that he won't be here when Caleb hit his stride, when Caleb get his prime and the stadium's here, he probably won't be the GM. He probably won't. So CJ, how you feel about Ryan Poles resigning, man?
Yeah, I don't think he will do it. I think he should, but I don't think he would do it. Too much pride, man.
I would quit. I would resign. I will resign. Alan, would you resign, man? If you was Ryan Poles, should he resign?
No, because like I said, man, it ain't too many of them jobs out there, man, and especially for him being a minority and young, those jobs right there are precious, man. Like, you got to keep working on your resume and management, man. So, Ryan, I know you upset, but you are part of this problem. That's why I'm upset with Ryan for him not thinking he's a part of the problem. Like,
right.
You did not earn the right to not have Kevin Warren be your boss. When it first came to fruition, you and your coach went 3-14 your first year. Then you turned around and lost 14 straight the following year. So, what deemed you to think that you were going to be your own boss going into year 3? Come on, Ryan. You good at math. So, I don't, you're going to have to deal with that. Do your job until you don't. Because if you don't do your job, you will not be a GM ever again. So, it ain't worth it, Ryan. Make this right. And if they let you go next year and you make them a playoff team, you might get another job. That's your goal. Make them a playoff team.
Hey, man, I don't know what you did with your microphone, man, but you sound amazing, Alan. Like, you sound clear as hell. So whatever you did, just keep going with that from here on out, man, because you sound great. I mean, should he resign? He shouldn't resign, man, because like you said, man, these jobs are hard to get by. It's a lot going into it, but man, imagine you getting fired and you was the one that built it up. Imagine Jerry Krause getting fired when he got Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen, and they let his ass go, and he didn't get to see none of it, bro. Knows none of it. That's a tough pill to swallow, man. So, CJ, what do you think if you was Ryan Poles? What confidence do you have in yourself if you Ryan Poles that I'm going to keep my job and I'm going to get an extension? What would you be telling yourself that I'm worthy of an extension? And I will be here to see Caleb Williams become what he's supposed to be.
It's all going to depend on what he do in this year's draft. That's what depends on what he do this offseason. Like, what are you going to do with that offensive line this offseason? What are you going to do to get another pass rusher next to Montez Sweat? What are you going to do to keep improving this team? That's how you're going to keep your job. Because if you don't get it done this offseason, your ass is gone.
Yeah. Hey, his ass is grass. So Al, I'm gonna ask you this question too. If you were Ryan Poles, if you was him, what do you believe in yourself is the reason why I'm going to be here to see this whole thing out? What are you relying on in yourself for you to keep the job? What do you think it is? What would you feel?
Well, I think he's leaning on, just thinking like Ryan. Ryan is leaning on that I am good at managing the salary cap It's a lot of GMs out there, y'all, that just can't manage the salary cap. We don't give Ryan Poles enough credit with money. If I had a bunch of money, I want Ryan Poles to be my accountant. I mean, he's gonna save you tons of money. I mean, you know, he's not gonna go out and just give a guy a bunch of money for no reason. He got a couple guys, Nate Davis and all that, but for the most part, he's kept that salary cap a whole lot cleaner than most GMs that we've ever had. Most of the times, our GM, like Ryan Pace, he had us. We didn't have $5 in the clip when he left. You know, so Ryan had to clean up the management, and so his problem is the personnel stuff. So this year you got $80 million and a fresh draft. You got 6 or 7 draft picks. Lean on what you're good at, managing the finances of the team as far as the roster construction and building through the draft. That's what you told us you were going to do. So that's what I need you to hammer home, Ryan. I believe you draft well. For the most part, you're pretty good at draft. But your problem is the personnel issue with the coaches. But we're going to work on that. But the playing, that part of it, I don't have a problem with him. And he's going to do good with that. But we got to clean up that personnel stuff with the manager.
Yeah, Craig said he got to dip out, but that's cool. We're going to get to your comment. But Alan and CJ, check this out. We got 3 picks in the top 40, bro. 3 picks in the top 40, man. Woo! That's pressure. And it wouldn't be pressure if his ass did what he's supposed to did this offseason, last year. He should have, and we still would have the same pick. We still would have probably a late first round this year, based off our record being a couple of games better. But he'll still probably have top 3 picks in the top 40 because you got our second round pick, our first round pick, and Carolina's second round pick. So, hey man, Ryan Poles, man, if I'm you, man, I'm gonna just go back to the basics. I'm gonna build to the draft. I'm gonna look at. I do got DJ Moore. I do got Roma Dunze. I do got Darnell Wright. I do have Tevin Jenkins. He hurt. You know what I mean? I do got some guys on defense, Jalen Johnson and Tyrese Stevenson. I think he just had a bad year. You got Montez Sweat. But if you look on it on the bright side, bro, you got some stuff here. You just gotta plug the holes, man. Plug the trenches, man. Plug the trenches, bro. And I guarantee you, you'll probably get that extension. I don't think you do, no matter what you do, but it's a 50-50 chance you might get it, man. Who knows, man? But with that being said, man, any final thoughts on any of this stuff right here y'all want to talk about before we go?
Hey, y'all, I think he's gonna move up in the draft. I don't think he's gonna sit at 9. If we sit at that 9 with 8th pick, he's gonna move in the top 5 because he's got the ammo. I think he's gonna make a blockbuster trade on the draft. He's gonna empty the clip. That's what I believe. He's gonna empty the clip this year because he ain't got but 1 year left, and he's gonna shoot for the fence. I think Ian Cunningham gonna cut his boy loose this year in the draft. He ain't gonna hold him back.
So, Alan, with that being said, man, so what are you banking on with a top 5 pick? What are you looking at? A lineman? I mean,
no, man. I'm telling y'all, man. I think Ryan is thinking big picture. Get the best player available, man. You got to think about Ryan. Look at what his tendencies are. He don't really draft for need. He's a best player available guy. Old school. You know, he feel like he can get his needs in free agency. So he's gonna work and get best player available in the draft because we need help everywhere. We just can't focus on one thing. And we can get some guys in free agency. We got 80 million. So we can go address the offensive line with some veterans. We need veteran guys, not young guys on the offensive line. I think Ryan gonna have his eye on a skill play.
Man, I love to see it, man. I hope so. So, CJ, what's your final thoughts, man, before we get up out of here?
Man, Ryan gonna have to get it done in free agency, man. For the holes, for the gaps that the best need players at, man. Because Bears got a lot of holes in a lot of different positions.
Soon that damn clock strike 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock, Ryan, the Bears need to be popping on the screen. The first start of the Bears need to pop their ass right up on the screen.
Look, Trey Smith from Kansas City.
Right, quick. Somebody quick. I got a feeling, man. But shout out to Craig for coming in here, for coming through with all the comments, man. We appreciate you, bro. He said he had to dip out, take care of the baby, man, and everything like that, man. So we appreciate you coming through, Craig, man. You've been solid from day one, dealing with us, man, and working with us every time. So we appreciate it, man. So my final thoughts is this: Ryan Poles, you got one more crack at bat, bro. You're on second base right now with two men on, man. You got two guys on. You got one on first, one on second, and you got one out. Ryan Poles, you got two on and one out, and Caleb Williams is at bat. So, bro, if I'm you, I'm leaning on Ian Cunningham, and y'all just go crazy in the trenches, bro. I want to see reports. I want to see reports all the rest of the year about Ryan Poles at Georgia game, Ryan Poles at goddamn Ohio State games, Florida, looking at offensive linemen. I want to see from here on out reports that Ryan Poles is already looking at draft picks, bro. I want to see it just like they was pretty much damn near already said they're going to draft Caleb Williams. I need to know that when we get that first round pick this year, bro. I already want to know. I don't want to wait, man. Shit, man. But that first round pick, I don't know, man. I think I might go with a pass rush, bro. What you going with on that first pick, CJ? What you doing with that first pick, bro?
Man, you got to get the best talent available. You got to get the best talent
man,
available.
because he's been sucking doing that. Like, we're not a playoff contending team to say that, man. We a rebuilding team. We got to nail the right draft pick, man. Come on, man. We got to get it right.
I'll say offensive line.
O-line? Yeah.
I'll say somebody on offensive line. A center, whatever that is, get him.
Yeah. So, Alan, $80 million in free agency, man. What are we doing with that first? What we getting, man? I'm gonna remember this and go back to this. What we doing?
Yeah, my first guy would be Trey Smith out of Kansas City. That's my number one baby in free agent. That's who I want if I Ryan Poles. He is a tone setter, to say the least, on the offensive line. We need a bully. And he's the one. Yeah, he's young. He's only 26, 27. He fits everything we looking for. And Kansas City can't pay him. So we can't. So Ryan Poles got to get that done. I don't care what else we do in free agency. He's got to be our number one pick in free agency. Give him what he wants and get out the way.
Hey, left tackle?
No, he's a guard. He's a right guard. But he's one of the best guards in the league. You talking about a run game, you put him and Tevin at guard, we're going to move some people. There's going to be some furniture move.
Right, smoke in the city.
Yeah.
I love it. All right, man. Shout out to the people just came in here, man. You guys came a little bit too late, man. All we did was talk about things like this. Should Ryan Poles resign? We got Ryan Poles top 5 mistakes in case you missed that. Keep him at Eberflus, not building no line, giving up a second round for Chase Claypool, signing Nate Davis, and picking Bayless Jones Jr. And we said, who do you trust more if we just came in here? Kevin Warren and Ryan Poles, man. So that's the show. I'm G Walker, the CNG Podcast. And that's my boy Alan of the CNG Podcast. And we up out of here. Peace.
All right, peace.
Peace.